US Vice-President JD Vance is here, and today he was in Jaipur. He visited the Amer Fort with his family, and later in his address that he made in Jaipur, he spoke about how the US is proud of the deep connection between India and the United States. He spoke about how he was grateful to visit his wife Usha Vance's birthplace for the first time, and also talked about the trade deal. He said that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiations, saying that the US is very keen on Indian domestic markets, but did say that the Prime Minister was a tough negotiator. He further offered to sell US energy to India, and in defense sector, he offered to sell generation F-35 fighter jets to the nation.
We think energy co-production will help beat unfair competitors in other foreign markets. But India, we believe, can go a long way to enhance energy ties between our nations. And one suggestion I'd have is maybe consider dropping some of the non-tariff barriers for American access to the Indian market. Now, I've talked about this, of course, with Prime Minister Modi. And look, President Trump and I know that Prime Minister Modi is a tough negotiator. He drives a hard bargain. It's one of the reasons why we respect him. And we don't blame Prime Minister Modi for fighting for India's industry. But we do blame American leaders of the past for failing to do the same for our workers. And we believe that we can fix that to the mutual benefit of both the United States and India. President Trump rejects these failed ideas. He wants America to grow, he wants India to grow, and he wants to build a future with our partners all over the globe. And when I look at this audience, or when I visit this incredible country over these last couple of days, I see a people that will not be held back. Now, the most profound responsibility I believe that all of us have is not to ourselves, but to the next generation, to make sure we leave them with a better society than the one that our parents and our grandparents gave us. And this is the world that America seeks to create with you. We want to build a bright new world, one that's constantly innovating, one that's helping people to form families, making it easier to build, invest, and trade together in pursuit of common goals. Now, I believe that our nations have much to offer one another. And that's why we come to you as partners looking to strengthen our relationship. Now, we're not here to preach that you do things any one particular way. I want to talk about Prime Minister Modi because I think he's a special person. I first met Prime Minister Modi at the AI Action Summit in February, and we had a lot of important discussions on AI and other policies to prepare for. The Prime Minister also managed to figure out that my son Vivek was actually turning 5 years old on the trip. This was in Paris just a couple of months ago. So think about this. Amid a huge international policy conference, he took the time to stop by where I was staying, wish our second son, Vivek, a happy birthday, and even bring him a gift. Usha and I were both genuinely touched by his graciousness. The great things about kids is they're brutally honest. They're brutally honest with everybody, whether you want them to be or not. And our 7-year-old, our 5-year-old, and then our 3-year-old baby girl, Mirabelle, it's interesting. They have only really attached themselves to, they've only really liked, I should say, they've only really built a rapport with two world leaders. The first, of course, is President Trump. He just has a certain energy about him. But Prime Minister Modi, it's the exact same thing. Our kids just like him. And I think that because kids are such good, strong of characters, I just like Prime Minister Modi too. And I think it's a great foundation for the future of our relationship.
Well, let's go across to Gauri Dwivedi now for more. And Gauri, JD Vance speaking on a number of topics and talking about how it could be a beautiful friendship between India and the US and how a lot can be done to benefit both countries. But the key was that he was asking for our markets to be opened for the US companies. And he said the Prime Minister is a very tough negotiator. He also spoke about energy and defense ties.
Indeed, in fact, he covered a gamut of possibilities, Gargi, and that essentially highlights just how broad-based the India-US relationship is right now. He did mention about terms of reference being finalized, which in fact is a great breakthrough because under Trump 2.0, one needs to understand that trade is a very important prism through which the Trump administration views bilateral relationships. So if India and US have been able to achieve that breakthrough in trade, it unlocks possibilities in other aspects that much more. Because remember, trade has been a big roadblock in this relationship, given the fact that there has been the tariff, given the fact that this visit also, in fact, of JD Vance has been in the shadow of the tariffs that have been imposed worldwide. Beyond tariffs and beyond trade, the other important aspect is defense, is strategic alignment. And in fact, that's something that the Vice President also mentioned. He said that we do most amount of military exercises with India than any other country on this planet. And that just tells you that the India-US relationship is more than trade. Trade is important, but beyond trade, it is defense. He also, of course, highlighted and aired what has been America's wish list, which is that India, which is one of the largest military purchasers in the world, should buy more military equipment from America, something that has been a long-standing wish and something he did, of course, mention as well. And he also went on to talk more about geostrategic, geopolitical alignment, whether it is in terms of challenges that both countries face. He didn't go on to mention China in that many words, but he did mention Quad. And Quad, essentially, while it doesn't name China, the underlining current of that is China, the fact that Indo-Pacific should be free. He did mention that India is going to host the Quad summit in the next couple of months. Prime Minister Modi will chair the heads of state meeting, and messaging of that kind ahead of that is extremely important. So trade being a very important aspect of how JD Vance's messaging has been, but beyond trade, it is about technology, it is about defense, it is about defense purchases and geostrategic alignment between India and US.
All right, Gauri, thanks so much for joining us with all those details.